sleepless again. In the next few hours, you'll be gently guided into one of the most effective natural cures for insomnia through Zen stories, mindful breathing, and ancient rhythms that help the mind quiet itself. No force, no pressure, just deep, effortless rest. Because sleep doesn't come from trying harder, it comes from letting go. So tonight, you're not here to fix anything. You're here to stop holding it all together. And just before we begin, perhaps you'd like to leave behind a whisper, a name, a place, or simply the feeling of where you are. Like placing a soft lantern along a path we're quietly walking together. Now, take a long, soft breath in. And as you exhale, imagine your body melting into the surface beneath you, like morning mist dissolving into the cool, dark earth. Let your shoulders fall. Let your jaw soften. Nothing to hold onto here, only this breath, this moment. Close your eyes and allow the world to fade. You have carried so much today. The thoughts, the conversations, the unspoken tensions, the plans for tomorrow. Each one is like a stone you've been carrying in a pouch over your shoulder. With every step through the day, the pouch grew heavier. But you have arrived here now, in this quiet place, this sanctuary of stillness. And here, you have permission to set it all down. Let us begin with one of the most fundamental Buddhist teachings, a key to finding the deep sleep and mental relaxation that you seek. This is the practice of mindful breathing, a way of detaching from the day's tension, not by fighting it, but by gently turning your awareness to the one rhythm that has been with you all along. Imagine a traveler named Kenji who journeyed across a vast and dusty plain. He was not carrying a bag of rice or a satchel of clothes. He carried an invisible sack filled with the worries of his village. He carried the fear of a poor harvest, the memory of a harsh word spoken in anger, the anxiety for a sick relative, and the crushing weight of his own expectations. With each mile, the invisible sack grew heavier. His shoulders ached, his feet dragged, and his mind, clouded with the dust of his burdens, could find no rest, not even when he lay down beneath the stars. He believed that to be a good man, he had to carry these worries. He thought that by holding them close, he could somehow control them, solve them, or keep them from harming those he loved. This is a story many of us tell ourselves. We believe our anxiety is a form of vigilance, that our tension is a sign of responsibility. But Zen Buddhism offers a different path, a gentler wisdom. One evening, exhausted and spiritless, Kenji saw a small, flickering light in the distance. He followed it to a humble hermitage where an old man sat by a fire, his face lined with the deep marks of peace. Kenji, desperate for relief, spilled forth his story, describing the immense weight he carried. The hermit listened with a patient, unwavering gaze. He did not offer solutions for the harvest or remedies for the sick. He did not try to dismiss Kenji's fears. When Kenji finally fell silent, the old man simply said, "Your journey today is over. The path is now dark. It is time to rest. Set down your sack." Kenji looked around, confused. "But I have no sack," he said, gesturing to his empty hands. The hermit smiled, a gentle, knowing smile that reached his eyes. "The heaviest burdens," he said softly, "are the ones we cannot see, the ones we carry in our minds. You have carried them far enough. For tonight, just for this moment, let them rest here by the fire." He then guided Kenji in a simple act. "Breathe in," the hermit instructed. "Feel the cool night air enter you. It asks nothing of you. It simply is. Now breathe out. And as you do, imagine you are setting down one single stone from your invisible sack. You do not have to throw it away. You are just placing it on the ground beside you for the night. Let go." Kenji, skeptical but weary enough to try anything, took a deep breath. As he exhaled, he imagined the stone of worry for the harvest, placing it gently on the earth. The hermit nodded. "Again, breathe in the peace of the night sky. Breathe out and set down the stone of that angry word." Kenji did so. With each breath, he let go of another burden. The stone of fear, the stone of regret, the stone of wanting things to be different than they are. He wasn't solving anything. He wasn't denying his problems. He was simply giving himself a temporary reprieve, an island of peace in the vast ocean of his concerns. This is a profound secret to finding deep sleep and curing the insomnia that plagues so many. We cannot solve tomorrow's problems in the dark of the night. We cannot undo today's mistakes, but we can, for this moment, let go. We can set down the sack. As you lie here, feel the rhythm of your own breath. Inhale and acknowledge the presence of this moment. Exhale and gently, mentally, set down one stone. Perhaps it is the weight of a deadline. Breathe in. As you breathe out, place that stone on the ground. It will be there tomorrow if you need it. But for now, let it rest. Perhaps it is the weight of a difficult conversation. Breathe in, feeling the stillness around you. As you breathe out, release the need to replay it, to analyze it. Set it down. Let it be. This is the essence of Buddhist mindfulness and a powerful tool for mental relaxation. It is not about forcing the mind to be empty. The mind is like a wild horse. You cannot tame it by wrestling it to the ground. You tame it by giving it a wide, peaceful pasture to roam in, and the breath is that pasture. The practice is simple, but not always easy. The mind will wander. It will try to pick the stones back up. That is its nature. When it does, do not judge. Do not be frustrated. That is just another stone to carry, the stone of self-criticism. Instead, with infinite gentleness, simply notice that your mind has wandered and guide it back to the breath. Guide it back to this moment. Inhale, exhale, let go. This is a form of emotional release, a letting go guided meditation that you can do anytime, anywhere. But it is most powerful at night when the world is quiet and the boundary between doing and being begins to blur. As Kenji continued to breathe with the old hermit, he felt a lightness he had not known for years. The ache in his shoulders eased. The frantic buzzing in his mind softened to a low, gentle hum. He wasn't free of his problems, but he was free from the torment of his problems. He had detached from the tension without detaching from his love or his responsibility. The hermit then told him a short parable, a Zen story for deep sleep. In a faraway land, he began, his voice as soft as the crackling fire. There was a great bell maker. He was known for creating bells whose tones could be heard for miles, clear and resonant. A young apprentice asked him, "Master, how do you create such a perfect sound?" The bell maker replied, "The secret is not in the casting of the bronze, nor in the polishing of the surface. The secret is in the silence after the bell is struck. For a bell to sing, it must be allowed to become still. If you keep striking it, all you will have is noise. Your mind is like this bell. The day strikes it again and again with events, worries, and thoughts. If you do not allow it a period of stillness, of silence, it cannot find its true tone. It cannot find its peace. Sleep is the silence between the strikes of the bell. You must allow it. You invite it not by thinking harder, but by breathing softer. This is the healing from within that Buddhist teachings offer. It is a form of Buddhist psychology that recognizes the mind's tendency create suffering by clinging, by resisting, by carrying. The cure is not more thinking, but less. The path to inner peace is not a grand, complicated strategy, but the simple, repetitive, gentle act of returning to the breath and letting go. So as you lie here, sinking deeper and deeper into a state of calm, become the traveler Kenji. Acknowledge the invisible sack you have been carrying. It is a testament to how much you care, how much you love, how much you try. Honor that. And now, with the same love you show the world, show it to yourself. Give yourself the gift of rest. Breathe in, gathering the quiet of the night. Breathe out and set down the weight of the day. Feel your body becoming heavier, sinking into the support beneath you. A pleasant, gentle heaviness. Let your limbs feel like stone, but not the stones of worry, the stones of a great mountain, solid, still, and at peace. Nothing to fix, nothing to chase. The world slows down for you now. Every breath is an invitation to go deeper. Deeper into stillness, deeper into rest. There is a stillness that lives beneath the noise of your thoughts. It is always there, like the deep, silent ocean beneath the crashing waves on the surface. Your breath is the anchor that can take you down into that deep, quiet place. So you breathe in and out. A simple rhythm, the oldest rhythm, the one that will carry you through the night. You are not trying to fall asleep. That is just another form of striving, another stone for the sack. You are simply practicing the art of release. You are creating the perfect conditions for sleep to arrive on its own, like a gentle guest who will only enter when the house is quiet and the door is left open. This is one of the most effective insomnia tips, a secret known to Buddhist monks for centuries. The effort to find sleep is what pushes it away. The gentle surrender to the present moment is what invites it in. So let go of the need for sleep. Let go of the frustration of being awake. In this moment, everything is okay. You are breathing. You are safe. You are held by the quiet of the night. That is enough. The story of Kenji and the hermit is your story tonight. The fire is the gentle warmth of your own awareness. The stones are the thoughts you are now setting aside. You are learning to calm anxiety at night, not by fighting it, but by befriending the stillness that holds it. You are learning the timeless wisdom of Zen Buddhism. Let the breath be your guide, a soft, easy, natural breath. No need to force it, just observe it. Feel the slight rise of your chest or belly on the inhale, the gentle fall on the exhale. This simple, physical sensation is your anchor to the present moment. It is your refuge from the storms of the mind. Let this story become your dream, a dream of letting go, a dream of lightness, a dream of peace. You are floating now, gently, on the surface of a calm, silent lake. The stars are reflected in the water around you. Each breath creates a tiny, soft ripple that expands outwards and disappears. Each exhale releases you further into the deep, soothing water. The day is done. You have done enough. You have carried enough. It is time to rest. It is time to release the weight, to untie the knots, to let the bell of your mind become still. From this place of release, this newfound lightness, we find the ground is now prepared. When the burdens are set down, we discover something has been waiting for us all along, just beneath the noise. A quiet space, a place of deep knowing. As the last stone is set upon the earth, a path opens up, leading not outward, but inward into the sanctuary we all carry within us, the still garden of the soul. And as your body softens into stillness and the breath becomes quieter than thought, notice how the weight of the day has already begun to melt away, not through effort, but through presence. This is the beginning, a quiet return to yourself, a gentle unfolding of peace. This is Zen. Zen not as a word, but as a way of resting. A healing path drawn from centuries of Buddhist wisdom, now gently arriving here with you tonight. This is Zen Buddhism healing, and it begins each time you let go. After letting go comes the stillness. Let your awareness settle gently into your body, like the hush that settles in a room when even memory has fallen silent. Feel the gentle gravity, the solid support beneath you. There is nowhere to go, nothing to do. You have arrived. You are home. In the very center of your being, there is a place that the world cannot touch. It is a place of profound stillness, an inner sanctuary. Zen masters and those who follow Buddhist teachings have called it by many names, but it is best understood as a still garden within. This is not a metaphor for something you must build, but a truth about something you already possess. Let me tell you a story about a young woman named Amaya who lived in a city of constant noise. The The city was a whirlwind of clattering carts, shouting merchants, hurried footsteps, and the ceaseless ringing of bells demanding attention. Amaya's mind was a mirror of her city. It was filled with chatter, with lists of tasks, with worries that clattered and clashed like the carts in the street. She longed for peace. She heard tales of a legendary silent garden hidden somewhere in the heart of the bustling metropolis. They said it was a place where the noise of the world fell away, where one could hear the sound of a petal falling to the ground. Amaya became obsessed with finding it. She searched every alley, peered behind every temple gate, and asked every wise elder she could find. She believed that if she could just find this external place of peace, her inner turmoil would cease. Her search became another form of noise, another frantic striving. This is a journey we all undertake. We look for inner peace in a new job, a different relationship, a quieter home, or a far-off vacation. We search for our still garden out there. But the core of Zen Buddhism and Buddhist psychology teaches us that the garden is not a destination. It is a recognition. One day, weary and discouraged, Amaya sat on a stone bench in the busiest square of the city. She closed her eyes, not in meditation, but in defeat. The noise was overwhelming. The shouting, the hammering, the rumbling, it all poured into her. But then something shifted. Instead of resisting the noise, instead of fighting it, she simply allowed it to be there. She let it wash over her without judgment, without trying to push it away. And in that moment of pure acceptance, she heard it. Beneath the roar of the city, she heard the soft, steady rhythm of her own breathing. In and out, in and out. It was a sound that had been there all along, but she had been too busy searching, too busy resisting to notice it. As she focused on that gentle internal rhythm, the external noise began to change. It didn't disappear. The carts still clattered, the merchants still shouted, but the noise no longer pierced her. It became a kind of texture, like the sound of rain on a roof, a distant and impersonal hum. In that moment, she understood. The still garden was not a place hidden in the city. The still garden was a space hidden inside of her. It was this place of quiet observation, this inner sanctuary that could exist right in the middle of the chaos. The stillness was not the absence of noise, but the presence of her own centered awareness. You have this garden within you. It is your spiritual anchor. Right now, As you lie here, you can find it. You don't need to search for it. You only need to notice it. The sounds in your room, the distant traffic, the hum of your home, let them be. They are the sounds of Emmaus City. Do not fight them. Do not wish them away. Let them be the rain on the roof. Now bring your awareness to the anchor. Bring your awareness to your breath. Feel its gentle, unwavering rhythm. This is the gateway to your inner garden. As you rest your attention here, a sense of stillness begins to emerge. It is not an empty, sterile stillness. It is a living stillness, rich with peace. Imagine this garden. What does it look like for you? Perhaps it has soft, green moss underfoot. Perhaps there is a gentle stream murmuring nearby, washing away any remaining tension. Maybe there are ancient, wise trees whose leaves rustle with the secrets of letting go. There might be a single, perfect lotus blossom floating on a pond, a symbol of purity rising from the mud of life's difficulties. This garden is yours. It is your birthright. You can return to it whenever you need to. It is the source of your resilience, your calm mind. This is a core concept in Buddhist meditation for beginners. It is not about stopping thought, but about finding a place to stand where you can watch the thoughts go by, like clouds in the sky of your garden. You are not the clouds. You are the sky. You are not the noise. You are the stillness that holds the noise. A Zen master was once asked by a student, "Master, my mind is full of weeds. I try to pull them out, but they only grow back stronger. How do I cultivate my garden?" The master replied, "Do not waste your energy fighting the weeds. Instead, spend your time planting flowers. Cultivate what you want to grow. Give all your attention to the seeds of peace, compassion, and stillness. As the flowers grow stronger and more beautiful, they will naturally crowd out the weeds. The weeds will have no room to grow." This is a powerful piece of Buddhist psychology. So often, we focus on what's wrong. We obsess over our anxiety, our negative thoughts, our flaws. We are fighting the weeds. The Zen approach is to shift our focus, to cultivate the good, to water the seeds of peace. As you lie here, you are planting flowers in your garden. With every conscious, gentle breath, you are tending to the soil. With every moment you choose stillness over struggle, you are giving light and water to the seeds of calm. Imagine the soil of your inner garden. Perhaps it has been hard and dry from years of tension and self-criticism. As you breathe, imagine the soil softening. Imagine it becoming rich and fertile, ready to receive. plant a seed. Plant the seed of self-acceptance. Let it rest in the warm, dark earth of your heart. You don't need to force it to grow. You just need to create the right conditions. The stillness you are cultivating is the sunlight. The gentle awareness you are practicing is the water. The seed knows what to do. This is a form of healing from within. It is a deep, emotional healing that happens when we stop trying to fix ourselves from the outside and start nurturing ourselves from the inside. Your inner garden is a place of no judgment. In this garden, you are perfectly, completely whole, just as you are. The weeds of past mistakes are simply part of the ecosystem, their lessons enriching the soil. The storms of difficult emotions are just passing weather, watering the ground for future growth. Everything belongs. Everything is okay. Let yourself rest in this garden. Feel the profound peace of this inner sanctuary. It is more real than your worries. It is more enduring than your problems. It is the timeless, unchanging core of your being. This is the deep sleep meditation that heals. Not a technique, but a homecoming. A return to the stillness that is always waiting for you. Imagine you are walking a path in this garden. The air is cool and clean. The moonlight filters through the leaves, creating soft patterns on the ground. You come to a small pond. The water is perfectly still, reflecting the night sky with absolute clarity. It reflects the stars, the moon, the vast, silent emptiness of space. This pond is your mind in its natural state, not agitated by the winds of desire and fear, but calm, clear, and reflective of a reality much larger than your small personal dramas. This is the state of a peaceful mind, a mind at rest, a mind that has found its home. You can dip your hand into this water. Feel its cool, soothing touch. This is the coolness of equanimity, the peace that comes from accepting life as it is. Let this feeling of cool, calm clarity spread throughout your body, from your toes to the crown of your head. A wave of deep, restful peace. The beauty of this garden is that it requires nothing from you. You don't have to earn your way in. You don't have to be good enough to enter. You only have to remember that it is there, and the key, the gate, is your breath. Always. The simplest, most humble, and most powerful tool you possess. So let the world outside be as it is. Let the thoughts in your mind be as they are. Let them be the distant sounds of the city. You are here now in the still garden within, resting, healing, becoming whole. This is the essence of Zen stories for deep sleep. They are not just stories, they are doorways. They guide you back to the truth of who you are, a being of profound stillness and limitless peace. But even in the most beautiful garden, we can sometimes find ourselves wrestling with the inevitable. We might try to stop a stream from flowing, or command a flower not to wilt. We try to hold onto things, to manage the unmanageable. The peace of the garden is disturbed not by the outside world, but by our own internal struggle for control. From the quiet acceptance of this garden, a new awareness can dawn, an understanding that the highest form of wisdom is not in managing the garden, but in letting go, in allowing the natural flow of life to move through it and through us without resistance. Take a slow, deep breath, and as you exhale, imagine you are softening your grip. Release the subtle tension in your hands, your jaw, your shoulders, the unconscious clenching against life. Let it go. Just for this moment, allow everything to be exactly as it is. Within the quiet of your inner garden, you find a profound peace. But this peace is often challenged by one of our deepest human instincts, the desire for control. We believe that if we can just manage outcomes, influence others, and steer the course of our lives with enough force, we will be safe and happy. But Buddhist teachings, particularly those of Zen Buddhism, reveal a startling paradox. True power and peace are found not in control, but in the graceful art of letting go. This is perhaps one of the most difficult but liberating lessons on the path to inner peace and restful sleep. Let me share with you a parable about a man who tried to control a river. His name was Kaido, and he lived in a village nestled by a great, powerful river. The river was the source of life for the village, providing water for their crops and fish for their tables. But it was also wild and unpredictable. Sometimes it flooded, and other times it ran dangerously low. Kaido, being a man of great intelligence and determination, decided he would tame the river. He would build dams to stop the floods and construct channels to divert the water during droughts. He worked tirelessly, day and night, hauling stones, digging trenches, and plotting the river's course. At first, he seemed successful. He built a small dam that held back a minor flood, and the villagers praised him. This taste of control was intoxicating. He redoubled his efforts, convinced he could master the river completely. But But the river was life itself, vast, powerful, and ultimately untamable. A season of heavy rains came, and the river swelled with a force Kaido had never imagined. It shattered his dams as if they were made of twigs. It overflowed his carefully dug channels and flooded the village, worse than ever before. Kaido was devastated. He had poured all his energy, all his will, into controlling the river, and he had failed. He had not brought safety. He had brought disaster through his hubris. Broken and humbled, he went to see an old woman who lived alone by the river's edge. She had never helped Kaido build his dams, nor had she ever panicked during a flood. She simply lived in a small hut on stilts, her face a mask of serene acceptance. I tried to control the river, Kaido confessed, his voice thick with shame. And I have failed. It is too powerful, too chaotic. The old woman looked at him with kind, clear eyes. You cannot control the river, little one, she said, her voice as calm as the deep eddies near the bank. That is the first lesson. The second is this: you do not need to. The river is not your enemy. It is your greatest teacher. She then pointed to a small, simple boat tied to her hut. The secret is not to build dams against the river, but to build a boat that can ride with it. You learn the currents. You respect its power. You steer with its flow, not against it. You use its strength to carry you where you need to go. This is the art of letting go. It is not an act of surrender, but an act of profound wisdom and partnership. Kaido's life was changed in that moment. He stopped fighting the river and started listening to it. He became a boatman, the best the village had ever known. He learned to read the subtle shifts in the current, to anticipate the swells, and to find the calm passages, even in a storm. He found a safety and peace he had never known when he was trying to be the master of the water. He had learned to let go of the illusion of control. This story is a powerful metaphor for our lives. The river is the flow of life itself, with all its unpredictable changes, its joys, its sorrows, its challenges. So many of us are like Kaido in the beginning. We try to build dams. We build dams of expectation around our relationships. We build dams of rigid plans for our careers. We build dams of resistance against aging, against loss, against uncertainty. We exhaust ourselves, believing that our constant effort, our white-knuckled grip on the wheel, is what keeps us safe. But life, like the river, will inevitably overflow our dams. A sudden illness, a lost job, a relationship that ends. These are the floods that shatter our illusion of control. And in these moments, we can feel devastated, just like Kaido. We think we have failed, but these moments are invitations. They are life's way of calling us to the old woman's wisdom. They are inviting us to stop building dams and start building boats. Your boat is your awareness, your resilience, your capacity for acceptance. Learning to let go is the act of getting in your boat and trusting the journey. It is a core principle for emotional release and for curing the kind of insomnia that comes from a mind that won't stop planning and controlling. As you lie here tonight, think of one thing in your life that you are trying to control. Something that is causing you tension, anxiety, and sleepless nights. Perhaps it is the behavior of another person. Perhaps it's your health. Perhaps it is the outcome of a future event. See yourself standing on the bank of the river, trying to build a dam against it. Feel the strain in your muscles, the exhaustion in your soul. See the futility of it. Now, with a conscious act of will, make a different choice. Imagine yourself turning away from the dam and walking towards a small, sturdy boat. This boat is your acceptance. It is your willingness to work with life rather than against it. As you breathe in, acknowledge the reality of the situation just as it is, without judgment, without resistance. This is the river. As you breathe out, imagine yourself stepping into the boat. Feel the solid wood beneath you. And then gently release the rope that tethers you to the shore. Let go. You are now floating on the river. You are not adrift and helpless. You have paddles. You can steer. You can navigate. But you are no longer fighting the fundamental current of what is. You are moving with it. This is not passive resignation. It is active, intelligent surrender. It is recognizing that some things are beyond our control, and our energy is better spent on how we respond to them, rather than trying to prevent them. This shift in perspective is a cornerstone of Buddhist psychology and many modern therapies. It is the key to moving from a state of constant anxiety to one of grounded peace. Let the feeling of floating gently down a quiet river become your reality for this moment. Let this be a sleep hypnosis that rewires your approach to life's challenges. The water supports you completely. The current is gentle. You can rest your oars in the boat. There is nothing to do right now but float. nothing to fix, nothing to chase. Feel the tension draining from your body as you give up the fight. The need to control is a fire that consumes our energy. Letting go is the cool water that extinguishes the flame, leaving behind a peaceful mind. A Zen master once held up a beautiful, empty cup. This cup, he told his students, is useful because it is empty. If it were already full of stale tea, you could not pour fresh tea into it. Your mind is like this cup. If it is full of your own plans, your own ideas of how things should be, there is no room for life to pour its wisdom into you. To let go is to empty your cup. So tonight, as you prepare for deep sleep, empty your cup. Pour out the need to control tomorrow. Pour out the resistance to what happened today. Pour out the rigid expectations you have for yourself and for others. Create an empty, open space within you. This emptiness is not a void. It is a space of pure potential. It is the stillness that allows the new, the unexpected, the miraculous to enter. Let this feeling of spaciousness fill your awareness. You are the empty cup, ready to receive the gift of rest. You are the boatman, floating peacefully on the river of this present moment. Everything is okay. The river knows where it is going. You do not need to see the entire journey to trust the flow. This is a profound form of emotional healing. It is the healing that comes when we stop blaming ourselves for the river's course and instead learn to praise our own ability to navigate it with grace and courage. Breathe in, feeling the support of the water. Breathe out, letting the current carry you gently downstream toward the deep, silent ocean of sleep. As you drift in this state of acceptance, floating on the river of what is, you may begin to notice the things you are clinging to. The boat is not empty. There are possessions in it, things you brought along for the journey. You look at them and realize that even these you don't need to hold so tightly. This gentle release, this loosening of the grip, not just on outcomes, but on things, ideas, and even the self, is the next step on our journey inward. It is the discovery of the gentle power of non-attachment. As you float gently on the river of life, having released the need to control its flow, a new freedom begins to emerge. This freedom invites you to loosen your grip even further, to explore the gentle power of letting things be as they are. Allow your breath to be a soft, gentle wave, rising and falling on the shore of your awareness. With each exhale, feel a subtle release, a loosening. There is no effort here, just a quiet allowing. Having learned to float on the river of life, instead of fighting its current, we find a new kind of freedom. But we may still find our boat cluttered. We are weighed down by our attachments to possessions, to ideas, to praise, to our very identity. Zen Buddhism teaches a principle that goes hand in hand with letting go of control, the principle of non-attachment. This is not a cold detachment or a barren indifference. It is a warm, wise, and loving release from the clinging that causes so much of our suffering. It is the discovery of what is known as the middle way. Let me tell you a Zen story about a master craftsman named Haruki. He was famous throughout the land for creating the most exquisite paper lanterns. They were marvels of artistry, made from delicate rice paper and painted with scenes of such beauty that they seemed to be windows into another world. Haruki poured his heart and soul into each lantern. He loved them. In his youth, this love was a source of great pain. When he sold a lantern, he felt a pang of loss, as if he were giving away a piece of himself. When a lantern was accidentally torn or burned, he would be inconsolable for days. He would track the lanterns he sold, worrying if their new owners were caring for them properly. His attachment to his creations, his clinging to their perfection and permanence, was a constant source of anxiety. He could not find a peaceful mind because his peace was tied to the fate of these fragile objects. A wise old monk, who often bought lanterns for his temple, noticed Haruki's distress. One day, he found Haruki mourning over a lantern that had been damaged in a storm. "You love your lanterns, don't you, Haruki?" the monk asked gently. "More than anything," Haruki replied, his voice choked with emotion. "That is why this hurts so much." The monk nodded. "Your love is beautiful, but your suffering does not come from your love. It comes from your grip. You are trying to hold onto the wind. You are trying to make a flowing river into a frozen pond." The monk then invited Haruki to the temple that evening for a festival. He had purchased 100 of Haruki's most beautiful lanterns. Haruki watched with a heavy heart as the monk and the other practitioners began to light them, one by one. But instead of hanging them up to be admired, they carried the lit lanterns to the river's edge. And then they released them. One by one, they let the lanterns float away on the constellation of golden light drifting into the darkness. Haruki's first instinct was horror. His beautiful creations, his hard work, all just let go. But as he watched the river of light moving away, something shifted within him. He saw a beauty he had never seen before. It was not the beauty of a single, perfect object held in his hand. It was the beauty of a process, the beauty of creation, of light, and of release. The lanterns were not less beautiful because they were temporary. They were, perhaps, more beautiful for that very reason. Their fleeting, transient glow was what made the moment so precious, so poignant. The monk came and stood beside him. "Do you see, Haruki?" he whispered. "The purpose of a lantern is not to be owned. It is to give light. You create it, you light it, and then you let it go, trusting it to bring its light to the world. Your joy must be in the creation and the giving, not in the possessing. This is non-attachment. You love it fully and you release it fully. That is the middle way." From that day on, Haruki became a different kind of craftsman. He still poured the same love and care into his work, but his joy was now in the act of creation itself. When he finished a lantern, he would hold it for a moment, admire its beauty, and then mentally release it to its journey. His heart was no longer heavy with the fear of loss. It was light with the joy of giving. His shop became a place of peace, and his own mind, once a turbulent sea of anxiety, became a calm and placid lake. This story holds a profound key to our own mental relaxation and emotional healing. We are all Haruki. Our lanterns are the things we cling to. They can be material possessions, yes, but more often they are intangible. We are attached to our youth. We are attached to our roles as a parent, a professional, a partner. We are attached to the praise of others. We are attached to our opinions, our beliefs, our stories about who we are. We are attached to our own suffering, finding a strange comfort in its familiarity. Like Haruki, we believe our love for these things requires us to grip them tightly. But Buddhist teachings show us that true love is spacious. It allows for freedom. Non-attachment is not about not caring. It is about caring so much that you are willing to let things be as they are, to change, to grow, and even to leave. It is the wisdom to know that nothing is truly ours to keep. As you lie here, floating in a state of deep calm, Let's practice this gentle art of non-attachment. Bring to mind something you are clinging to. It could be an idea of how your life should look. It could be a memory, good or bad, that you replay over and over. It could be a desire for a specific outcome. See this attachment in your mind. See it as a beautiful, glowing lantern that you are holding in your hands. Acknowledge its beauty. Acknowledge the meaning it holds for you. Thank it for what it has taught you. Love it fully. And now, with a gentle breath, imagine yourself opening your hands. Release it. Let it go. Watch it float away on the quiet river of the night. It is not destroyed. It is not lost. It is simply released into the larger flow of life. It does not mean you don't care. It means you are trusting the flow. You are releasing the struggle around it. Feel the lightness in your hands, in your heart, as you let it go. This is a powerful practice for soothing spiritual stories and a form of sleep hypnosis with Zen parables. It allows your subconscious mind to absorb the wisdom of release. The middle way is the path between two extremes. On one side is the extreme of craving and clinging, which leads to anxiety and disappointment. On the other side is the extreme of aversion and pushing away, which leads to bitterness and numbness. The middle way is a path of balance and equanimity. It is walking through life with an open heart and open hands. You can appreciate beauty without needing to own it. You can experience love without needing to control it. You can feel sadness without being consumed by it. You are the observer, the compassionate witness to the ever-changing flow of your own life. Let this feeling of spaciousness expand within you. Imagine your mind is a wide-open sky. Thoughts, feelings, and sensations arise like clouds. Some are dark and stormy. Others are light and fluffy. You don't have to grab onto the fluffy clouds and try to hold them. You don't have to fight the stormy clouds and try to push them away. You can simply rest as the sky, allowing all the clouds to drift by on their own. This is the peace of non-attachment. It is a profound stillness that is not disturbed by the weather of your life. This is the transformation that Buddhist mindfulness offers. A shift from being a character tossed about in the drama to being the loving space in which the drama unfolds. Let the story of Haruki and his lanterns be a guide for you tonight. Release the lanterns of your day. The lantern of a goal you didn't achieve. Let it go. of an expectation that wasn't met. Let it go. The lantern of who you think you should be. Let it go. And rest in the beautiful, simple truth of who you are, right here in this moment. A breathing, feeling being worthy of peace, worthy of rest. The lanterns floating away on the dark river are a beautiful and poignant sight. Their journey is finite. Their light will eventually fade. This image of beauty and release carries within it another essential Zen truth. The lanterns remind us that everything, including the lanterns themselves, is in a state of constant change. From the freedom of non-attachment, we can now turn and face, with courage and grace, the great, unfolding dance of impermanence. With your heart now lighter, unburdened by clinging, you are ready to see life's deeper truth. Like the lanterns floating away, everything moves and changes, and in this movement lies a profound beauty. Let your body be soft, your breath be gentle. Feel the subtle, constant rhythm of change within you. The air moving in, the air moving out. The rise and fall of your chest. This is the rhythm of impermanence, the gentle pulse of life itself, happening right now, in this moment. Having released our grip through the wisdom of non-attachment, we are now better prepared to face one of the most fundamental truths of existence, a cornerstone of all Buddhist teachings, the truth of impermanence. In our culture, we often see impermanence as a source of sadness and fear. We mourn the passing of time. We dread the inevitability of change and loss. We fight it, deny it, and build our lives as if we could create something permanent. But Zen Buddhism offers a radical, healing perspective. It teaches that impermanence is not a tragedy to be endured, but the very thing that makes life precious, beautiful, and meaningful. Finding peace in impermanence is a master key to unlocking deep and lasting mental relaxation. Let us visit a garden, but this time not a hidden one. Let us visit the garden of an old monk named Ryokan, who was known for his deep love for a single cherry blossom tree. He had planted it as a young man, and for 60 years he had watched it cycle through the seasons. A young, eager student, full of philosophical questions, came to visit Ryokan, hoping to learn the secret to enlightenment. He found the old monk sitting on a bench under the cherry tree, which was in full, glorious bloom. The air was thick with the sweet fragrance, and the branches were heavy with pale pink blossoms. "Master," the student began, "I have come to ask you about the nature of reality. What is the ultimate truth?" Ryakan did not answer immediately. He simply pointed a long, wrinkled finger at a single, perfect blossom trembling in the breeze. "Look," he whispered. The student, impatient, looked at the flower. "It's beautiful, Master, but what does it teach me about the ultimate truth?" "Everything," Ryakan said softly. "Watch it closely. It was not here a month ago. In a week, it will be gone. Its beauty is perfect, and its existence is fleeting. It does not cling to the branch. It does not mourn its own passing. It simply blossoms in its given moment with its whole being, and then it lets go, dancing on the wind as it falls to the earth. This is the ultimate truth. This is impermanence, and it is not sad. It is exquisitely beautiful." The student watched, and for the first time, he truly saw the blossom. He saw the vibrant life force that had pushed it into being, and the graceful acceptance with which it existed in its brief window of glory. The next week, a storm came. The student returned to the garden, his heart heavy, knowing what he would find. The ground was carpeted in a thick layer of pink petals. The tree was bare, its naked branches stark against the gray sky. He found Ryakan sitting on the same bench, a look of serene contemplation on his face. "Master, it is a tragedy," the student lamented. "All the beauty is gone." Ryakan smiled, a gentle, compassionate smile. He bent down and picked up a handful of damp petals from the ground. "The beauty is not gone," he said. "It has just changed form. Is this not also beautiful? This soft carpet, the way it nourishes the soil for next year's growth. You mourn because you are attached to one phase of the tree's life. You want it to be forever in bloom. But the tree's life is the whole cycle. The bare branches of winter have their own stark beauty. The tight buds of early spring hold the promise of life. The full bloom is a moment of celebration, and the falling petals are a dance of letting go. To love the tree is to love all of it, not just the part that pleases you most. To find peace is to find the beauty in the falling as much as in the blooming. This Zen story is a profound guide for our own lives. We are the cherry tree. Our lives are a series of seasons. There are times of vibrant blooming success joy, love, health. And there are times when the petals fall: loss, failure, illness, heartbreak. We suffer because, like the young student, we cling to the bloom. We believe that is the only part of life that has value. We see the falling of the petals as a tragedy. But the wisdom of Buddhist psychology teaches us to be like Ryokan, to observe the changing seasons of our own lives with equanimity and an open heart, to find the unique, poignant beauty in every phase. This is not easy. It requires a deep shift in perspective. It asks us to stop resisting the natural flow of life. If this idea of finding beauty in the falling petals, in the broken or bare seasons of your own life, touches something deep within you, you are welcome to share a quiet reflection in the space below. We may be scattered all across the world, listening in the dark of the night, but this moment of shared understanding brings us into the same quiet garden, witnessing the same gentle truth. Even a single word, or simply the name of the place where you are listening from, becomes a petal added to this shared ground of our human experience. This practice of observing change with a calm and accepting heart is a powerful cure for the anxiety that arises from fighting reality. When we accept impermanence, we are freed from the exhausting work of trying to hold everything together. We can relax, we can breathe. As you lie here, on the edge of deep sleep, let yourself feel the truth of impermanence in your own body. Your body is not a static object. It is a flowing river of sensations, cells, and energy. With every breath, you are changing. You are not the same person you were when you started listening to these words. You have already let go of so much. Bring to mind a change you are currently facing in your life, something that may be causing you fear or resistance. It could be a change in your health, your relationships, your work, or simply the passage of time. See this change not as a threat, but as a new season in the life of your cherry tree. Can you find a tiny seed of beauty or wisdom in it? Perhaps the loss of a job is the bare branch of winter that will allow new buds of possibility to form in the spring. Perhaps a health challenge is the storm that blows the petals off, forcing you to appreciate the strength of the trunk and the depth of the roots. This is not about pretending that pain doesn't hurt. It is about holding the pain within a larger, more compassionate context. It is about trusting the whole cycle. Ryokan's peace did not come from a life without storms. came from his ability to sit calmly in the aftermath, finding beauty in the fallen petals. This is emotional healing sleep, script in its deepest form. It is aligning your mind with the fundamental nature of reality. When you stop fighting the flow of time, you can finally rest within it. Imagine your worries and fears about the future are like trying to hold onto a single blossom, shielding it from the wind. See how much tension is in your hands, your arms, your whole body. It is an impossible, exhausting task. Now open your hands. Let the blossom go. Let it dance on the wind. Let it follow its natural course. And feel the profound relief that comes with that release. You are not in control of the wind or the seasons, but you can learn to dance with them. This is the path to a calm mind and restful sleep. A mind that has made peace with change can finally be still. It no longer needs to be on high alert, trying to prevent the inevitable. It can settle down like the fallen petals on the soft earth and rest. The hypnotic phrase, "everything is okay," takes on a new, deeper meaning here. It doesn't mean everything is perfect or pleasant. It means that even in the midst of change and difficulty, the fundamental process of life is unfolding as it should. The tree is following its nature, and you are following yours. Let this story become your dream. A dream of a beautiful cherry tree moving gracefully through all its seasons. See yourself not as someone clinging to a branch, but as the deep, quiet awareness that watches the whole magnificent cycle with love and acceptance. You are the stillness that contains all the change. This acceptance of the great, flowing river of impermanence brings us to a place of profound grounding. When the world outside and the world within seem to be in constant flux, where do we find our anchor? The tree has its roots, the monk has his breath. And so, as the petals settle, we are gently guided back to the most immediate, most faithful companion we have on this journey, the one constant in the midst of all change. We are guided back to the breath. As you rest in the gentle embrace of impermanence, trusting the cycles of life, there is a steady anchor waiting for you. This anchor is always with you, guiding you back to the stillness of the present moment. Let us return now to the breath. Without any effort to change it, simply bring your awareness to the feeling of the air as it enters your body, And as it leaves, feel its rhythm, as steady and faithful as the tides. In the face of life's vast and constant change, in the midst of the dance of impermanence, it is natural to feel unmoored, to feel lost. Buddhist teachings offer us an anchor, a place of refuge that is always available, always present, no matter the season of our lives. This anchor is the breath. The practice is simple. Returning to the breath is returning to the present moment. Returning to the present moment is returning to your true self. Let me tell you a story about a young apprentice named Jin, who was studying at a remote mountain monastery. His master was a silent, enigmatic man who taught more through gesture than through words. Jin was eager and bright, but his mind was like a forest full of chattering monkeys, always jumping from one thought to the next, lost in fantasies of the future or regrets about the past. He was rarely present. One day, the master sent Jin on an errand to a neighboring village, a journey through a dense and winding forest. "The path is clear," the master said, "but your mind is not. If you get lost, remember one thing." He did not say what that one thing was. Jin set off confidently, but soon his mind began to wander. He thought about the praise he would receive upon his return. He worried about a mistake he had made the day before. He planned his future as a great Zen master. He was so lost in the forest of his thoughts that he failed to notice he had wandered from the physical path. Suddenly, he looked up. The path was gone. He was surrounded by an impenetrable thicket of trees, all looking the same. Panic seized him. He ran in one direction, then another, thorns tearing at his robes, his heart pounding in his chest. The more he struggled, the more lost and terrified he became. The sun began to set, and despair washed over him. He collapsed at the foot of a great, ancient tree, completely defeated. And in that moment of surrender, his master's words came back to him. "If you get lost, remember one thing." But what was the one thing? He frantically searched his memory for some clever koan or philosophical instruction. Nothing came. Finally, exhausted and out of options, he just stopped. He stopped running. He stopped thinking. He stopped panicking. And in the sudden silence of his own mind, he became aware of something else: his breath. He could feel the frantic, shallow gasps for air. He could feel the painful tightness in his chest. And then he remembered the master's primary instruction, the one given on the very first day, the one he had always overlooked as being too simple. Pay attention to your breath. This was the one thing. It was not a clever trick. It was the most fundamental practice. With nothing else to do, Jin closed his eyes and brought his full attention to his breathing. He didn't try to control it. He just watched it. He felt the cool air enter his nostrils. He felt his chest rise and fall. Slowly, breath by breath, his panic began to subside. The frantic gasps softened into deeper, slower rhythms. The tightness in his chest eased. His mind, which had been a raging storm, grew calm. He was still lost in the forest, but he was no longer lost in his mind. He had found a point of stillness in the center of the chaos. He had returned to himself. He sat there for a long time, simply anchored to his breath, as the forest grew dark around him. And then, in the deep quiet, he heard it, the gentle sound of a distant stream. It was a sound he hadn't heard before, because his own panic had been too loud. Using the sound as a guide, he walked slowly and mindfully, never losing contact with his breath. The stream led him to a familiar part of the forest, and soon he was back on the path. He returned to the monastery late at night, humbled and transformed. The master was waiting for him, holding a lamp. He simply nodded as if he had known all along. Jin had learned the most important lesson. The way out of being lost is not to run faster, but to become still. The path reveals itself not to the frantic mind, but to the quiet one. This story is a perfect map for navigating our own inner worlds. We all get lost in the forest of our thoughts. We get lost in anxiety, in worry, in anger, in planning. We run frantically in our minds, trying to find a way out, but only get more entangled in the thorns of our own thinking. This is the source of so much sleeplessness and mental agitation. The mind is trying to solve the problem of being lost by thinking harder, which is like trying to find your way out of a forest by running with your eyes closed. The instruction of Zen Buddhism is breathtakingly simple. Stop, sit, find your breath. The breath is your anchor. It is the tree in the center of the forest that you can always return to. It is the one thing that is happening right now, in this moment, free from the past and the future. As you lie here, let yourself be Jin at the foot of the great tree. Let go of the struggle. Stop trying to figure everything out. Simply bring your awareness back home to the breath. Feel the physical sensation of it. This is your anchor to reality, to the present moment. This is a core practice of Buddhist mindfulness. It's not about achieving a special state. It is a practice of returning over and over again with gentle, non-judgmental awareness. When you notice your mind has wandered back into the forest of thought, which it will, because that is its nature, you do not scold yourself. That is just getting lost in another part of the forest. Instead, you gently acknowledge, thinking, and then you guide your awareness back to the breath. It is a simple, loving act of self-rescue, repeated 1,000 times. This is how you develop a peaceful mind, not by winning a war against your thoughts, but by continuously choosing to rest in the quiet clearing of the present moment. Let the phrase "breathe deeply" not be a command, but a gentle invitation, an invitation to come home. Let the repeated phrase, "in this moment," be your refuge. In this moment, you are just breathing. In this moment, you are safe. In this moment, everything is okay. This is a powerful form of sleep hypnosis because it bypasses the analytical mind. You are not being asked to believe anything. You are being guided to experience something, the inherent calm of the present moment, accessed through the gateway of the breath. Let your whole body breathe. Imagine every cell in your body gently expanding on the inhale and softly releasing on the exhale. A wave of oxygen of life washing through you. A wave of release, of letting go, washing out of you. Nothing to do, nowhere to go, just this. The breath is your most faithful companion. It was there for your first moment of life, and it will be with you until your last. It asks nothing of you, yet it gives you everything. To honor the breath is to honor life itself. To return to the breath is to return to the sacredness of your own being. Let this story become your dream. A dream of being lost and then found, not by searching outside, but by becoming still inside. A dream where your breath is a golden thread, guiding you safely through the darkest forest, back to the light of your own quiet center. As we rest in this quiet center, anchored by the breath, we begin to notice the landscape of our inner world greater clarity. And what we often find there, once the panic has subsided, is a harsh inner critic, a voice of judgment. Having found our way back to ourselves, we are now presented with a new opportunity, not just to be present with ourselves, but to be kind to ourselves. From the stillness of the breath, we can now learn to soften the heart and meet our own imperfections with the gentle touch of compassion. Anchored in the quiet rhythm of your breath, you find a safe space to turn inward. From this stillness, a gentle warmth arises, inviting you to meet yourself with the tenderness of compassion. As your breath flows, gentle and deep, let your awareness gather in the center of your chest, the space around your heart. Imagine that with every inhale, you are breathing in warmth and softness. And with every exhale, you are letting go of any hardness, any armor you hold around your heart. Let it soften. Having returned to ourselves through the anchor of the breath, we are now in a place where we can do the most profound work of healing from within. This is the work of compassion. In the quiet of the present moment, we often become aware of a persistent inner voice of judgment, a critic that tells us we are not good enough, that we have failed, that we are flawed. This voice is a primary source of suffering and a great obstacle to restful sleep. Zen Buddhism teaches that the path to inner peace requires not only a quiet mind, but a soft heart. We must learn to offer ourselves the same kindness and compassion we would offer to a dear friend. Let us explore this through the beautiful Japanese art of kintsugi. There once was a young woman named Emmy who served in the household of a great master. One day, while washing the master's favorite tea bowl, a piece he had treasured for years, her hands slipped, and the bowl fell to the stone floor, shattering into several pieces. Emmy was horrified. Her heart pounded with fear and shame. She had destroyed something precious, something irreplaceable. She gathered the broken pieces, her hands trembling, and went to the master, expecting to be severely punished, perhaps even cast out. She bowed low, her forehead touching the floor, and confessed what had happened, tears of shame streaming down her face. The master was silent for a long time. Then he simply said, "Bring me the pieces, Emmy, and bring me the lacquer and the gold dust." Emmy, bewildered, did as she was told. She watched as the master, with painstaking care and tenderness, began to reassemble the bowl. he did not try to hide the cracks. Instead, he meticulously painted the broken edges with a special lacquer and then dusted them with fine, powdered gold. The process took many hours. When he was finished, he held up the mended bowl. It was transformed. The jagged cracks were now intricate veins of shimmering gold, more beautiful and captivating than the original unbroken vessel. The bowl's history, its story of being broken and healed, was now its most stunning feature. The master turned to Emmy, his eyes full of a kindness she had never expected. "Do you see, Emmy?" he said softly. "This bowl is not ruined. It is more precious now, for it has been broken and healed with love. The cracks are not something to be ashamed of. They are a part of its story, and now they are the source of its unique beauty." He then looked directly at her, and she felt he was looking not just at her, but into her. "You are like this bowl," he said. "We are all like this bowl. Life will break us. We will make mistakes. We will fall and shatter. Do not hate your cracks. Do not hide your broken pieces. That is where the light enters. That is where the gold goes. Your suffering, your shame, your imperfections, when met with the gold of compassion, they become the source of your greatest beauty, your deepest wisdom, and your most profound strength." In that moment, Emmy's shame washed away, replaced by a wave of profound emotional release. She was not just forgiven, she was seen. She understood that her brokenness was not a failing, but an opportunity for a more resilient and beautiful kind of wholeness. This story of kintsugi, the art of golden repair, is one of the most powerful metaphors for the emotional healing sleep script we are creating here tonight. We are all broken bowls. We all have cracks. We have cracks from past traumas, from our mistakes, from the harsh words of others, from the ways we have failed ourselves and those we love. Our instinct is to hide these cracks. We apply a sort of invisible glue, trying to pretend we are perfect, unblemished, and strong. This effort is exhausting. It creates a constant, low-level anxiety, a fear of being found out. And at night, in the quiet, the cracks often make themselves known. The insomnia that comes from self-judgment is a deep and painful affliction. The wisdom of Buddhist psychology offers a different way. It invites us to practice kintsugi on our own souls. It asks us to stop hiding our cracks and instead to meet them with the gold of compassion. Compassion in Buddhism is not pity. It is a courageous and tender presence. It is the willingness to be with suffering, our own and others, without judgment. As you lie here, in this safe and quiet space, let us practice this art of golden repair. Bring to mind one of your cracks, a flaw you dislike about yourself, a mistake you regret, a part of you that feels broken or unworthy. Do not push it away. Do not analyze it. Simply allow it to be present in your awareness, as Emmy presented the broken pieces to the master. Hold it gently. Now imagine you have a small bowl of liquid gold. This is the gold of compassion. It is warm, luminous, and healing. With a soft brush of loving kindness, begin to trace the edges of your crack with this gold. As you do, repeat these silent phrases of compassion, the core of many Buddhist prayers, to yourself. This is a moment of suffering. Suffering is a part of life. May I be kind to myself in this moment. May I give myself the compassion that I need. There is no judgment here, just a soft, warm, golden acceptance. You are not condoning a mistake or ignoring a flaw. You are simply softening the harshness around it. You are ending the war against yourself. Feel the shift in your body as you do this, the subtle release of tension, the warmth spreading through your chest. This is the feeling of self-compassion. It is a profound act of healing from within. It is softening the judgment that keeps you trapped in a cycle of anxiety and self-recrimination. Let the phrase, "no judgment," become your mantra. When you notice the inner critic arise, just whisper to yourself, "no judgment," and return to the gentle act of applying the golden lacquer. This practice extends not only to ourselves, but to others. When we can meet our own brokenness with compassion, our hearts naturally soften towards the imperfections of others. We see that they too are broken bowls, doing their best to hold themselves together. Judgment dissolves and is replaced by empathy. This is how we cultivate a peaceful mind and a peaceful world, one soft, golden repair at a time. Let this Zen story for deep sleep permeate your being. Let the image of the golden bowl be a symbol of your own journey. You are not broken. You are becoming more beautiful. Your life story, with all its chips and cracks, is what makes you unique, resilient, and precious. Let go of the need for perfection is a harsh and unforgiving master. Instead, embrace the beauty of your own authentic, imperfect, golden-veined self. Everything is okay. You are whole and complete right now, cracks and all. Let this story become your dream. A dream where you are the master craftsman, tending to your own precious vessel with infinite love and care. A dream where every crack glows with a warm, golden light, a testament to your resilience and your capacity to heal. As you rest in this state of soft-heartedness, of self-acceptance, a new possibility emerges. With a quiet mind anchored in the breath, and a soft heart healed by compassion, we are finally ready to do something very simple and very radical. We are ready to open our eyes, metaphorically, and fully embrace the life that is right in front of us, in all its ordinary, sacred detail. We are ready for the profound peace of the present moment. With a heart softened by compassion, you are now ready to open fully to the world around you. The present moment calls, inviting you to rest in its simple, sacred reality. Close your eyes, if you haven't already, and let your awareness settle down, down, down into the here and now. Not the here and now of your thoughts, but the here and now of your senses. Feel the texture of the fabric against your skin. Hear the subtle, ambient sounds of the room. Notice the taste in your mouth. Let your awareness arrive fully in this one single, unrepeatable moment. Having quieted the mind and softened the heart, we arrive at the very center of Zen practice, present moment awareness. This is the culmination of the previous steps. It is the simple, yet profound, act of opening to life as it is, right now, without wishing it were different. So much of our anxiety and insomnia comes from living mentally in one of two places: the past, with its regrets and resentments, or the future, with its worries and what-ifs. The present moment is the only place where peace can actually be found, and it is the one place we are so rarely willing to be. There is a classic Zen story that illustrates this with beautiful simplicity. A famous and hurried scholar, known for his vast knowledge of spiritual texts, came to visit a great tea master named Nanin. The scholar was full of his own ideas and wanted to impress the master with his understanding of Zen. He arrived and immediately began to speak, quoting ancient scriptures, explaining complex philosophies, and detailing his own profound insights. Nanan listened patiently, saying nothing. He simply began the preparations for serving tea. He took out the cups, the whisk, the pot, the caddy of green tea powder. The scholar kept talking, barely pausing for breath, his voice filling the small, quiet tea room. Nanan continued his preparations with a slow, deliberate, and complete attention. Every movement was graceful and focused. He warmed the bowl. He measured the tea. He poured the water. Finally, the tea was ready. Nanan picked up the scholar's cup and began to pour. The scholar, still talking, glanced down. The cup was full, yet Nanan kept pouring. The hot green tea overflowed the cup, spilling onto the saucer, and then onto the tatami mat below. "Stop!" the scholar shouted, finally jolted out of his monologue. "The cup is full. No more will go in." Nanan stopped pouring, looked at the scholar, and smiled. "Like this cup," he said, "you are full of your own opinions and speculations. How can I show you Zen unless you first empty your cup?" The scholar was humbled and silenced. He understood instantly. But the teaching did not end there. For the rest of the visit, the scholar watched the tea master. He saw that the master's entire being was invested in every simple action. When he washed the bowl, he was just washing the bowl. His mind wasn't somewhere else. When he walked across the room, he was just walking. When he listened, he was just listening. Later, as he was leaving, the scholar asked one final, humble question. "Master, what is the secret to enlightenment? What is the core of your practice?" Nanan, who was putting on his sandals, simply replied, "When I eat, I eat. When I sleep, I sleep." The scholar thought this was too simple. But doesn't everyone do that? "No," said the master. "When most people eat, they are thinking of 100 other things. They are worrying about their work, planning their evening, replaying a conversation. When they try to sleep, they are thinking about the mistakes of the day and the anxieties of tomorrow. They are never where they are. That is why they are not at peace." This story is a direct transmission of the heart of Buddhist teachings on awareness. The path to inner peace is not found in grand, mystical experiences. It is found in bringing our full, undivided attention to the mundane, ordinary moments of our lives. This is the ultimate form of letting go guided meditation. It's a meditation that doesn't require a cushion or a special time. It can be practiced at any moment. As you lie here, you have a perfect opportunity to practice this. You are not trying to get to sleep. You are not waiting for the next story. You are simply here. Can you bring your full attention to the act of lying here? Feel every point of contact between your body and the surface beneath you. Feel the weight of your limbs, the gentle pull of gravity. Be completely present with these physical sensations. Notice the flow of your breath, but this time, notice it with the full, rich attention of the tea master. Feel the subtle coolness of the air as it enters your nostrils, the slight warmth as it leaves. Feel the gentle expansion and contraction of your chest and abdomen. Be so present with these simple physical realities that there is no room left for the chattering mind. This is what it means to empty your cup. You empty it of the past and the future so that it can be filled with the reality of the present. This is a radical act of self-care and a powerful cure for insomnia. The anxious mind cannot survive in the soil of the present moment. Anxiety is a creature of the future. Regret is a ghost from the past. Neither can breathe in the air of the right now. When you find your mind drifting, as it inevitably will, just gently note where it has gone. Ah, future, or ah, past. And then, like the tea master returning his focus to the bowl, guide your awareness back to the physical sensations of this moment. Back to your breath, back to the feeling of your body resting. This is the timeless wisdom that can transform your life. You don't need to change your life's circumstances to find peace. You just need to change where you place your attention. The hypnotic phrase, "nothing to fix," nothing to chase, is the very essence of this practice. In this moment, as you lie here, what is there to fix? What is there to chase? There is only the sensation of breathing, the feeling of rest, the quiet of the night. This is enough. This is everything. Let yourself open to life as it is, right now. This is a deep form of emotional release. It releases you from the prison of your own mind, the endless treadmill of striving and worrying. It allows you to step off and simply be. Let the story of the tea master seep into your subconscious. Let it become a new way of being for you. Imagine moving through your life with that kind of presence. When you drink your morning tea, you just drink tea. When you listen to a friend, you just listen. When you feel the sun on your skin, you just feel the sun. This is not a state of being zoned out. It is a state of being fully, vibrantly alive. It is waking up to the life you are actually living. Let this be a sleep hypnosis that rewires your brain for presence. Let your body learn, on a cellular level, the deep peace that comes from inhabiting the now. Feel yourself sinking deeper and deeper into the present moment. It is a vast, quiet, peaceful space. It is your true home. It is where you belong. Let this story become your dream. A dream where you are the tea master, moving with effortless grace and attention. A dream where every simple act is sacred because it is done with your whole being. A dream where the cup of your mind is empty, clear, and ready to receive the peace of the night. As we rest here, fully present in this moment, a new quality begins to arise. It is a quiet feeling of rightness, a sense of being held by a process larger than ourselves. This feeling, born from presence, is trust. To fully embrace the present, we must trust that this moment is exactly where we need to be, and that the path forward will reveal itself in its own time. As you dwell fully in the now, a quiet confidence begins to bloom within you. This confidence is trust, a deep knowing that the path forward will reveal itself, step by gentle step. Let your body feel the unwavering support of the surface beneath it. Trust this support. It is holding you completely. You do not need to hold yourself up. Let go into this feeling of being held. Let this trust in the physical world be a gateway to a deeper, more spiritual trust. Having arrived in the present moment, we find ourselves at a threshold. To stay here, to truly rest in the now, without being pulled into anxiety about what comes next, requires a profound quality: trust. This is not a blind faith, but a deep, intuitive knowing that arises from stillness. It is faith in the unfolding path of our lives, even when, and especially when, we cannot see the road ahead. This is a cornerstone of Buddhist teachings on moving through life with grace and without fear, and it is essential for the kind of deep sleep that recharges the soul. Consider the story of a young pilgrim named Sora, who set out on a lifelong dream to journey to the legendary Crystal Mountain Temple, a place so remote and high in the some said it did not exist at all. She was given a map, but it was ancient and vague, showing only the general direction. The path itself was not marked. She began her journey with great enthusiasm, but soon the clear lowlands gave way to misty foothills and dense, trackless forests. The path she thought she was on would frequently disappear. She would be faced with a sheer rock face, a wide chasm, or a thick, impenetrable fog. In these moments, her heart would fill with fear and doubt. She would pull out her map, but it was useless for these immediate, terrifying obstacles. For the first part of her journey, she would panic. She would try to force a way through, scrambling up loose rocks or trying to push through thorny bushes, often ending up exhausted and more lost than before. She considered turning back many times. One evening, huddled in a small cave as a storm raged outside, she felt completely defeated. "I cannot see the way," she wept. "I am lost. The temple is just a dream." In the silence after the storm passed, a single moonbeam broke through the clouds and illuminated a small, hardy flower growing in a crack in the rock just in front of her cave. It was a flower she had seen before, sporadically, along the parts of the trail that had been clear. In a flash of insight, she understood. The path was not a wide, clear road to be seen from afar. The path was a series of single, quiet steps. The path was revealed not by seeing the destination, but by paying attention to what was right in front of her. The humble flower was her next step. The next morning, she did not consult her map. She simply looked for the next small sign of the way, another one of the hardy flowers, a strangely placed stone, a subtle break in the trees. Her journey was transformed. She stopped worrying about the mountain peak, which she could not see. She stopped being afraid of the mist because she knew she didn't need to see a mile ahead. She only needed to see the place for her very next footstep. Her anxiety dissolved, replaced by a quiet, focused trust. She realized that the pilgrimage was not about arriving at the temple. The pilgrimage was the practice of trusting each step. Years later, an old woman with a face full of serene wisdom, she finally arrived at a high, misty plateau. There was no grand temple of crystal. There was only a simple, empty shrine with a small, clear spring bubbling up from the ground. She was not disappointed. She knelt and drank the cool, pure water, and she understood. The Crystal Mountain Temple was not a place. It was the state of being she had cultivated on the journey. It was the unwavering trust in the quiet, unfolding path. This Zen story is a powerful parable for our own life's journey. We all have a Crystal Mountain Temple, a goal, a dream, a vision of what a happy or successful life looks like. We have our mental maps of how we think we're supposed to get there. And we are filled with anxiety and fear when life presents us with a fog we cannot see through, or a chasm we don't know how to cross. We feel lost. The insomnia that comes from this kind of existential anxiety is profound. We lie awake, trying to map out the next 5 years, trying to solve problems that haven't happened yet, trying to see the path through the mist. The wisdom of Buddhism for beginners and advanced practitioners alike is this: let go of the map. The journey of life is not a road trip with a clear itinerary. It is a pilgrimage of trust. As you lie here, on the edge of sleep, you can practice this profound trust. Let go of the need to have your life figured out. Release the pressure of needing to know what will happen tomorrow, next week, next year. That is like Sora trying to see the mountaintop through the dense fog. It is an impossible and exhausting task. Instead, bring your awareness to your very next step. In this moment, your next step is simply your next breath. Can you trust this breath? Breathe in. Can you trust that the air you need is there for you? Breathe out. Can you trust the process of letting go? This is the practice in its simplest form. Trusting the breath. Trusting this single, simple, life-sustaining act. This is where all spiritual growth begins. This is your flower in the rock. When you can trust the breath, you can begin to trust the moment. Can you trust that, in this moment, you are exactly where you need to be? Even if this moment contains discomfort or uncertainty, can you trust that it is part of your path, just as the misty forest was part of Sora's? This is not about liking the moment. It is about trusting it. It is about believing in the wisdom of the unfolding process. This is faith in the unfolding path. It is a faith born not from dogma, but from the direct experience of presence. When we are fully present, we see that this moment always provides what we need for this moment. Let the phrase, breathe and trust become a quiet mantra in your heart. Let it be the gentle voice that soothes the part of you that is afraid of the dark, of the unknown. Let this story become a sleep hypnosis for your soul. Let it reprogram your relationship with uncertainty. Uncertainty is no longer a threat. It is simply the weather on the pilgrimage. It is the mist that asks you to pay closer attention to the ground right beneath your feet. Feel this trust sinking into your body. Feel the muscles in your back and neck release as you let go of the need to control the future. Feel your heart rate slow as you accept the wisdom of your own journey, even the parts that feel confusing or difficult. You do not need to see the destination. You only need to take the next gentle step, and the next, and the next. Tonight, that step is to release into sleep. Trust that your body knows how to rest. Trust that your mind knows how to heal. Trust that the night will hold you safely. Let go of the struggle. You are the pilgrim, and you have found your way, not by seeing the end, but by trusting the beginning of each new moment. And as we rest in this profound trust, something remarkable happens. The need to strive falls away. The mental chatter about what to do next, how to get there, what it all means, it all grows quiet. The pilgrim, having learned to trust the path, can finally sit down and rest by the side of the road without any need to hurry on. This deep trust opens the door to the final destination of our journey tonight. It leads us into the vast, silent, and deeply restorative landscape that lies beyond all words, all thoughts, and all efforts. It leads us to rest in the silence beyond thought. Trusting each moment as it unfolds, you find yourself carried to a place beyond effort and striving. Here in the vast stillness, you are invited to release everything and simply be. Let yourself sink now, deeper and deeper, as if you are a smooth stone dropping slowly through clear, still water, down past the surface world of thought and sound, down into the deep, quiet, peaceful abyss. Let the silence speak where words no longer matter. We have journeyed far tonight. We have released the weight of the day, found the garden within, learned to let go of control and attachment, made peace with impermanence, returned to the anchor of the breath, softened our hearts with compassion, embraced the present moment, the unfolding path. Now there is nothing left to do, nothing left to learn. The journey has led us here, to the very edge of the vast, silent ocean of being. This final section is not so much a story as it is an invitation. An invitation to experience the ultimate goal of all Zen stories and Buddhist teachings, the profound, healing stillness that lies beyond the thinking mind. This is the source of the deepest sleep and the most complete mental relaxation. This is where true inner peace resides. Imagine an old monk, perhaps the very same Ryokan from our earlier story, in the last years of his life. He is not teaching anymore. He is not writing poetry. He is not even tending his garden. He is simply sitting on the veranda of his small hut, overlooking a vast, still lake at midnight. The moon is full, and its reflection lies upon the water like a perfect silver plate. The air is cool and absolutely silent, a silence so deep it feels like a presence. There is no sound of wind, no call of an animal, just a profound, resonant stillness. The monk is not meditating in the way we often think of it. He is not concentrating on his breath or contemplating a koan. He has gone beyond that. He is simply being. His mind is as still and clear as the lake, and the light of awareness, like the moonlight, illuminates everything without effort or judgment. He is not thinking, "What a beautiful moon," or "How peaceful this is." To think that would be to create a separation between himself and the experience. He is the peace. He is the moonlight on the water. The boundary between the observer and the observed has dissolved. There is only one single, seamless reality of silent, aware presence. This is the state of deep rest that your soul craves. It is a rest not just from physical activity, but from the ceaseless activity of the mind. It is the silence beyond thought. You do not need to be an old Zen master to touch this silence. It is your true nature. It is the background of your being, always present, just waiting for the noise to subside. As you lie here, you can enter this silence. Let go of all the stories you have heard tonight. Let go of all the concepts, letting go, compassion, presence. These were the boats to get you across the river. You have now arrived at the other shore. You can let the boat go. Let go of the effort to be mindful. Let go of the effort to be anything at all. Simply rest. Rest in the awareness of being. Imagine yourself as that still, moonlit lake. Your thoughts, if they arise, are just faint ripples on the surface. They do not disturb the vast, silent depths. You do not need to do anything about them. They arise and they pass away, all within the vast, accepting stillness that you are. Let this image guide you into a state of profound surrender. Imagine yourself floating gently down a quiet river, so quiet that it seems motionless. You are lying on your back, looking up at a sky full of stars. The water is holding you perfectly. The night is holding you perfectly. There is nothing to do, nothing to fix, nowhere to go. Let this story become your dream, a dream of pure, silent, peaceful being. A dream that is not a story, but a state, the state of deep, restorative rest. The world slows down for you now. Time itself seems to dissolve. There is only this moment, and this one, and this one. Each one a pearl of pure, silent presence. Your breath is very soft now, almost unnoticeable. Your body is heavy and deeply relaxed. Your mind is quiet, spacious, and free. This is the healing stillness. This is the peace that passes all understanding. This is the deep sleep that mends the body and restores the soul. Let the silence be your cradle tonight. Let it rock you gently into a state of profound and dreamless sleep. There are no more words. There is only the silence. And the peace within the silence. Rest now, rest deeply. Everything is okay. Let go. Rest